after all those shows happened, it seems like.
Station built by the bands for the fans, Infernal Rock Radio. I've got Tim from Orwell here. That was In Tide's Eye Wake. To start out with, anything you want to say about that song, Tim?
Yeah. Ben from Pony is calling me right now, literally.
Nice.
I'm going to silence him. Yeah, I don't know. That's the first song off the record. I think that was like number 3 or 4 in the writing process, somewhere in there. I don't know. That's probably one of my favorite songs on the record. I feel like it's definitely the heaviest and, probably the most crushing, if you would describe something that way, I guess.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's one of my favorite ones to play live, and it's a great way to start the set.
At 8 minutes long and that intense, does it ever weigh on you to have to play that live?
Oh, absolutely not, man. That's the one we do first every night, and that's kind of our way of, telling anybody who hasn't heard us before, like, hey, man, you better be in for the long haul, because otherwise you're really not going to enjoy this.
So that's off your new record that just came out last Tuesday, correct?
Yep, yeah, that came out on Tuesday, online and physically as well, so.
So how long did that take to record?
We spent 9 solid days with Steve recording the drums and guitars and shooting tones for all the instruments, drums, guitars, and bass. After that 9 days was up, Steve kind of had to get back to what he was doing back in Minneapolis, so we spent the next, I think it ended up taking about 2 months to do the bass and the vocals, but we kind of did those like once a week here and there because we all live really far away from each other, so we had to kind of drive to get to each other and set up times to do that. But Will rewrote a lot of his bass parts in the studio, which was really cool, but we needed to obviously spend the extra time on it. And then we just hammered out the vocals, and that was it. So yeah, I think it was about 3 months total.
That's not too bad. And so you worked with, you're saying Steve, who's from Iron Thrones. What was that like for you?
That was pretty awesome, man. We've been friends with Steve and the Iron Thrones crew for a while now. We were in that No Label Needed contest with them, and they crushed us, as they should have. But, yeah, it was just cool. We just wanted somebody who, kind of had an idea of what we were trying to do musically, and somebody who we felt like could actually give us input for the first time, because every other time we've recorded, it's been kind of just an engineer situation. We've never really had a producer, so it was super awesome to have an extra set of ears in there and an extra brain for ideas and goofy stuff. So it was great, and I think we'll probably do it again.
Awesome. So you were saying that this is a concept record. What's the concept behind this?
It's basically a record about grieving and loss and stuff like that. It originally started off as like the kind of 5 key stages of grief, which towards the end of the writing cycle turned into 6, just because we split some stuff up. But yeah, I think people will feel that in the record. It starts off really super like heavy and desperate. And then by the end of the album, it's a little bit more uplifting and, pointedly kind of sending you in the right direction, as you're finishing listening to it. So, yeah, it's about loss and grieving and stuff like that. And, Logan's lyrics are kind of tied in by a singular metaphor throughout the entire thing. So, I mean, really, if anybody was to explore the lyrics, they'd find a few different kind of things going on. But again, yeah, the main thing is just kind of loss and grieving and moving forward positively from that, I guess.
That's what was kind of your inspiration behind doing all that?
Well, I mean, it kind of started off with our new drummer, Chris, I think. He was really into what we were doing before, but really wanted to push us in a new direction. We were all super open to that. And we just wanted to find a way to approach doing almost a new style of music, but without just jumping in and trying to do it, like we didn't want to fake anything. Like we just wanted to create something in a way that we hadn't before. So basically what we did is we kind of sat down as a group and we wrote kind of like a little story about the grieving process and what's happening to the main character at this point in the record and stuff like that. And then we basically wrote the music to score that like outlined storyline that we had. So yeah, that was kind of the big thing. I mean, I know I suffered a couple of uh, pretty big losses in my life this year, and I know some of the other guys have had some rough stuff going on too. So yeah, I mean, I think it was, between us wanting to explore musical and creative avenues that we hadn't in the past, and some events that happened in our lives personally, it just kind of all came together that way.
Awesome. So you guys live all over the place. How does that work out as far as doing gigs, all your recordings, stuff like that? Is it a big pain in the ass? You guys have a lot of time to be able to get together and do that?
Yeah, it's definitely a giant pain in the ass. We get together twice a month usually. We usually get together for 2 to 3 days on end. Everybody crashes at my place, and we spend 6, 7 hours jamming. Especially during the writing. When we're writing, we'll do it that way. We'll spend like 6, 7 hours straight just jamming out. So yeah, we get together twice a month. And then as far as shows go, whenever we can, we meet up in Wausau because that's where the practice space is. The other day, we had our CD release show in La Crosse, and then we had a show 2 days later in Minneapolis. Unfortunately, Chris had to work, so Chris drove to La Crosse from Milwaukee, back to Milwaukee, and then to Minneapolis.
Jesus.
In 2 days. So, yeah, you could, anybody listening, if you're coming out to see us, you know that we want to be there because we're really going out of our way to make it happen.
That's awesome. So speaking about anybody that wants to come out and see you, what do you have for dates coming up?
We are playing September 24th with the Atlas Moth and Ken Mode and Pony at the Wisco there in Wisconsin, in Madison. That's going to be awesome. We're all really excited about that. We're great friends with Pony, love those dudes. Ken Mode's an amazing live band, and I personally, and I know the other guys in my band are all huge fans of the Atlas Moth and like really, really excited to see their material live. So that's going to be awesome.
That's going to be that's a ridiculous lineup for the bar that you guys are playing in.
Yeah, we've never been there, but I've heard it's a really cool place, so like we're really jazzed about it.
Yeah. So that's all you got for dates right now?
I think so.